Hello, my name is Keris, and I have recently become addicted to the Horus Heresy. I am kind of obsessed with these Beaky Boys at the moment. This whole thing came about due to the Augustus 40k Space Marine box coming out. Games Workshop were kind enough to send me the box, and I decided to do something a little bit different. I tried to paint an old hammer style on the new Primaris models. So I used much brighter blues for the Ultramarines and, of course, those yellow trims. This made me obsessed and I wanted to recreate it in a whole army form. Now this is the overall scheme. It's not perfect. It's actually the test model that I did before this video, and I'm not too happy with the base, so I do need to adjust that for this video. We went through a couple of different colour schemes and themes before we went in here, but this is the one that I'm the most happiest with. Now of course we start with Macragge Blue for the base coat. I love the spray paints. And we need a nice even coat to be able to get all of those recesses, that gorgeous dark blue. Now, a majority of this paint scheme is going to be dry brushed. So we start with Calidor Sky, and I am going to be using a Citadel medium dry brush. I like this dry brush in particular because it is more square. One of the major things for this army was I wanted to be able to recreate this across thousands of points and make it look all uniform. So a big thing is speed for me here. This first dry brush is pretty heavy. I want to be able to lighten it up a little bit more, leaving that Macragge Blue in the recesses. And then we're going to move on to our highlight colour. Our highlight colour is going to be used a little bit more sparingly, but it is important to give it that old school pop. The dry brushing was really handy to get a quick highlight down. However, I did go back in and add some additional highlights with the same colour, just using a small brush, mainly adding highlights to the top of the shoulder pads, the kneecaps and the backpack. After this is all done and dry, I added a dark red to the bolter casing. We added silver to those areas that you wanted to add a metallic shine, and also black to the inner armor panels. To really give it that old school feel, I decided to use yellows rather than golds throughout the entire model. Within the Beaky Boys, there is only a little bit of yellow for this one, but you can really see it come through in some of the more dynamic models. And here's what it should start to look like once it's starting to come together. I could leave it here. I'm pretty happy with leaving it here, but I decided to add some extra elements. Using Agrax Earthshade, I washed all of the areas that wasn't the blue. I tried my hardest to stay away from the blue, let that dry, and then come back in with some highlights. I am using quite stark colours for my highlights. I wanted a really bright red, a much brighter yellow, and adding a little bit of grey to those black inner panels. Now, I did want to do a Goblin Green base. I was talked out of it on multiple occasions, and I still to this day kind of wish I had, but across a full army, that would become tiresome, and I feel like would become more of a gimmick than an overall army feel. So we decided to do something still traditional and do a grey base. With this, we put down the grey, gave it an Agrax wash, and gave it some highlights with a dry brush too. Relatively easy, but I think really effective to allow that blue and red to pop. Overall, this whole process took me half an hour for one miniature, which may seem quite long if you're trying to do a squad of 20, but this was the first time I had done it from beginning to end and timed myself, and was also recording throughout this entire session. So for me, I think this was a huge achievement, not only for myself, but I am so excited to continue on my Ultramarine journey. And as I record this, I am sat in front of 1,500 points with many more painted. I think it's important to follow what you're currently passionate about, and I'm going to be doing a bit more of a story time about that and why I didn't enter Golden Demon this year and sacked it off to actually paint these Ultramarines. Let me know what you think. Do you think anything should be changed? Or do you have any recommendations of Horus Heresy models you would like to see me paint or I should play with? Well, thank you so much for stopping by. It was lovely to see you, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye!